These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This process is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If you know or think you have cancer, please consult your physician before using this method of self-treatment. Hi, I'm Kim Holman from 8 Hands Healing in Salem, Oregon, and I wanted to share this video on how to do hydrotherapy for breast health. And you can use this technique and application for any part of the body, and today we're going to cover for breast health. So today when we do the hydrotherapy for breast health, David is going to be my model, and this is David Gordon from CrossFit View. It's his gym, and so he's offered to be my model, and this breast health is for men and women. All of us should be concerned about our breast health with the toxicity that's in our food and in our environment, and so even men are having issues with this as well, and it's just much easier to use a male model for this. So this is the size towel that we're going to use today on David, and this is big enough for an average sized person to get in the armpit, across the breast, and around to the other armpit, or it could be through the whole torso, which you can see mostly fits the torso. And when we wet the towels in the sink, we want to make sure that we wring it out, but not too much, and I'll explain why in a second. And this tag, when we place it in the turkey roaster, which is my preferred way of heating the towels, you want to make sure this tag is up. Because what happens when the towels are super hot and you go to pick them up, you will burn your fingers. So if you leave the tag sitting up, you can hold the tag and the tag is not hot. I have actually sewn them back onto the towel to make sure that I have these. You can see that these towels are well worn. I've used them for years, and I have dedicated towels and sheets that I use, especially when I'm using hydrotherapy with castor oil, because the castor oil stains clothing, anything that it gets in touch with. So this is an example of a towel that I wrung out too much. It was too dry, and then it burnt even a hole through the whole thing. So don't wring it out too much. As my hands got stronger, as I was used to do this in my office a lot, they got stronger, and I would make it too dry, and then I started burning towels. So the layers of linens that I use, again, castor oil will stain whatever it touches, and I've not figured out a way yet to get it out of the linens. So I use dedicated linens for this treatment. And so we get snowman sheets today because they're my crappy sheets. So the layers will go the person's body, put the castor oil on, put the hot towel on, and then a basic trash bag to cover between the towel and the blankets so that we don't get the blankets completely soaked, and cover with the sheet, the top sheet and the blanket, and then I put another big, thick, extra folded blanket on top to keep the heat in. I have this other plastic bag that I put on the floor near the table because when the hot towels are done being used, I need a quick place to put them before I put the cold towel on. So a lot of people ask me what kind of castor oil to use. I prefer the organic cold pressed hexane free. So hexane is a petroleum product that they often use to get the castor oil from the plant. And petroleum is just, I've never found a good use for it on my body. So cold pressed hexane free organic castor oil has been my preference of choice. This is a glass bottle, and they have them in plastic bottles also. Some people like to incorporate essential oils when they do hydrotherapy, and the layering that I choose to do is the essential oil on the skin, then the castor oil, and then the heat. And the other thing to pay attention to is to not use a hot oil. So peppermint would be too hot, oregano, thyme, arborvitae. These are all from the doTERRA brand, which is what I prefer to use. If you put a hot oil on and then add heat, you are going to burn yourself. So we could use essential oils on the area that we're going to treat, and we're going to not do that on David today. And then the castor oil, you want a very thin layer. I've already got a little bit on here. Let me finish rubbing this in, see if I need any more. You only need a thin layer. So in the armpit, there's a lot of people who get boluses of lymph sitting here. The breast lymph, usually most of it drains into the axillary lymph nodes. And so that big bolus can be as big as a golf ball or bigger even. And this is perfect to put the castor oil and rub it into that area. So anywhere where you're going to put the heat, it's ideal to have the castor oil for the area that you're going to treat. So I have the first towel out and I'm holding it by the tag, and I can waft this. You definitely can see you do not want to put this hot towel that's completely hot on the person. So I feel it, and then I'm going to drape it across here. David, you tell me if it's too hot.
That's good.
Good. So if it's too hot, just pick it up, and often just wait just a minute. We want to push it down there. Now your arms can come down. And we're going to put the plastic up under here to keep the sheets and towels dry and blankets. This goes on. And what we're trying to create here is his own personal sauna. Nice and hot? Okay, cool. So David, what I need you to tell me is when that towel begins to cool down, and then we'll apply the second towel. Okay? Okay, we have our second towel, and we're gonna cool this down a bit. So David said that his first towel was beginning to cool down, and we're gonna use this towel. So we're just gonna drape it across the plastic, and arms up again, please. Now let me know if this is too hot. Okay? He hesitated to answer, so I thought, oh, let's wait a minute. Yeah. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Then we put the first towel on top, and then down, and the blankets. Oops, arms down, and then the blankets. And so we're going to give him another personal sauna for just a few minutes. So breast health is something that has affected women for years because of the bras. The underwires, even just a tight bra that doesn't have an underwire, cuts off main lymph nodes that are under the breast, and so it holds the toxicity here. So it's very important to do your self breast exams, and this is a wonderful opportunity for men and women alike to do a self breast exam. So David, if you were doing this on yourself, you could be applying the castor oil and feeling for lumps across the breast, and then after the hydrotherapy, then you could feel again and see if any of it moved. And the bras, they just keep everything contained and not flowing. Often people think that they're a bit overweight. They might be fluffy. And I keep looking at some people and it's like, you're not overweight, it's just lymph that's not flowing. And so this is a beautiful way to treat an area like the breast area, and because most of it goes into the axillary, this is a wonderful opportunity to get this area moving, and then the breast can start moving as well. Some people's breast size go down once they do this on a regular basis and start moving the lymph out of the area. Some people who feel like they're overweight and they're really more lymphatic, if it's a full body systemic lymphatic condition, it could be a food allergen that's causing inflammation everywhere. And so then if it's that, then it's going to require finding out what that food is, not eating that food. But if it's just a local area, such as what the whole bra syndrome, I call it, causes all that stagnant lymph to start moving, then it could be as easy as a few hydrotherapy applications. So this is the cold towel, and David's going to welcome this because he's way too hot right now, right? So the cold towel, again, is cold tap water. And for David's sake, because I knew he would want to cool down quickly, I put it in the fridge. That might be too extreme for some people, but I knew for David it would be a welcomed event. So remember we talked about having this an extra bag down on the floor. So I'm just going to take these hot towels, put them down on the floor on that plastic bag. Are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's cold. Okay, so then we put the plastic and, yep, arms down. And then we put him back under here in the nice personal sauna here. And then what we have is the torture part. So if your hands are off your belly, move them down a bit. There we go. So it's kind of there, right? But now I'm going to press it down. And so that really drives the cold into the body. And that is a necessary evil. You like the cold because you're way too hot. But a lot of people, they're just like, oh, don't touch it. And once you touch it and that initial shock is done, then your body, we leave that towel on there until your body heats it up. So before it was like, when the towels start cooling down, let me know and then we'll switch. And now it's going to be towels warm because your body heat has done that. If your body takes longer than 15 minutes to heat that cold towel up, even if it was put in the fridge, do not put it in the freezer. It will be too stiff to mold to the body. Don't torture someone and put it in the freezer. If it takes longer than 15 minutes to heat that, then I would recommend one more application of cold. And that what this is doing is you're bringing heat to an area, and then the cold is pushing the fluid out. So in this case, the armpits, right? We're really focused on the breast and the armpits for breast health. Castor oil is a natural antimicrobial and antifungal. And so whatever area you're having issue with, you can apply it there and then use this hydrotherapy method on that area. Post knee replacement has been a wonderful place to do the castor oil and the hydrotherapy. There's so much toxicity that can happen with a knee replacement or any surgery, but you need to wait like 6 weeks post surgery to make sure that the wound is healing and closed together before you apply oil, before you do this hydrotherapy. Again, the heat brings blood to the area, and if that wound has not had enough time to naturally heal, then you're going to cause more problems for that area. So if you have a mammogram, for example, and there's been a lump that's been found, if they find that it's not cancerous, then you could do this treatment on yourself. Like, let's say the lump is over here, so really rub that castor oil in that area. I would do the entire breast, and especially under the breast and into the armpit, and then do the hydrotherapy in there, and keep an eye on that lump, especially if it's not cancerous. It could just be that the act of rubbing the castor oil on the lump is loosening the fascia around it, and then the castor oil's going in and dealing with any lymph that's stuck there, the toxicity part of it, and then the heat brings blood to the area, the cold flushes that out, and you may notice a reduction in that lump. So you might know of naturopathic doctors in your area that offer hydrotherapy in their clinic. They are able to use equipment like electrical stim that work with the digestive system, that boost your immune system. So you could check naturopaths in your area that might do hydrotherapy as well, and then they can add that component to it. We can use hydrotherapy even without the castor oil to boost our immune system. So we've turned David over, and we're not going to apply the castor oil because he has no need for that right now. But if he had a cough or something, then that might be an indication that you would apply castor oil before you do the heat. All right, so here comes just a basic hot towel to go on the back. You can fold it if it's too long. Oh, forgot the plastic. You'll know if you forget the plastic because you will soak the sheet and blanket. Cover. So you can apply the same concept of the 2 hot towels and the cold towel, just like we did on the front. And doing this on the front and the back can really help boost a person's immune system, just for general health as well.